Hello and welcome inside our Oklahoman studio for another edition of Thunder Insider presented by Integris Health. I'm Kelly Kroll, your host, and in studio with me today, the Thunder broadcast team, Brian Davis, Grant Long. Guys, it's been a long week, and you two have been on the road with the team, two very tough opponents in which they faced. Go ahead, I can see you're ready to go.
I'm thinking big picture, Kelly. That's the bottom line. I mean, okay, consecutive losses, but for only the third time this season, the Thunder is still 14-4 in games decided by 6 or less, the 2-possession margin. I tell you what, Grant, it's a long season, no time to push the panic button. Here you just keep on working.
It is a long season, and I'm not going to push the panic button, but I am going to say I'm a little concerned about our offensive rhythm, more importantly with Jeff Green's output, because I think he's doing all of the other things that we've grown accustomed to, but I think somehow he's got to get more incorporated into the offense for this team to continue to thrive.
It was just a week ago, though, that we saw this Thunder team hold off an elite Orlando Magic group, and a win that showed this young team's maturity. Coach Scott Brooks helps give us an inside look at this important win.
Keep believing in each other on the pass. Make passes to each other.
It's Durant, slithering left baseline, bumped by Howard. Corkscrews a pass to Cephalosha, corner right, Green, free for three, lets it fly, fills it up, cha-ching, a Thunder money ball.
No bad shots, good shots, and stop. Think of that. Every time down, get a good shot. Every time down, get a stop.
Green grabs another rebound, his second. Up the middle to Westbrook, stutter steps, last baseline, challenges Nelson, then scores over the top of him on a bank shot from 5 feet out.
Rebound and run. Russell's the only guy really running it. We can get layups, I'm telling you, we can get layups. We run the first quarter, it's going to pay off in the fourth quarter.
Kevin Durant soars and scores, rocking the rack with a two-hand throwdown.
Let's get hot on the defensive end. Let's get excited about the defensive end.
Oh, the great block, Ibaka! Knock it away! 2 blocks in a row!
You guys picked a good game.
Wide left, Durant, 3 to shoot to the baseline. Leaps and leads, 16-footer, got it! At the shot clock buzzer, is Kevin Durant mammoth? Yes, he is!
They're mature 22-year-olds that understand that you have to keep moving forward to continue to get better, and our guys do that. They do that, and even during games where it's an emotional, crazy game, they were still pretty steady and focused on the job that they needed to do.
Well, you brought up the offensive. You're a little concerned with maybe the movement. We hear so much about the ball movement. That starts with Russell Westbrook.
I think it does, and I think 2 things for Russell. The fast break and the screen and roll, all predicated on Russell's decision making, and I think that's an area that Russell has made tremendous strides. Talk about fast breaking with the basketball. You have to make the ultimate best decision when you're in a hurried up situation. In the screen and roll, it presents so many defensive coverages, you have to make a quick decision in that area also, and Russell has been tremendous at making those decisions, and I think that's an area, 2 areas where the Thunder has made tremendous strides, the fast break and the screen and roll offense, and I think a lot of that's due to Russell Westbrook.
Well, we got a taste there, though, of Russell with the offensive rebound. He seems to have figured out how to get to the rim and now get calls, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to define his game, and I'm probably not alone. In fact, I'm still trying to put my finger on what the Thunder is all about as a team, guys, but here's the bottom line. I look at Russ, and he's sitting right now on a streak of 5 straight games of double-doubles, including the triple-double against Orlando, hand in hand with 5 straight games where he's gotten to the free throw line and taken 10 or more shots. And when he does that, good things happen for this team. So those things, the offensive rebounding, his attacking the rim, everything seems to go hand in hand, and that includes, Grant, his ability to distribute the basketball.
Well, he's a quarterback, so everything's going to run through Westbrook. He's going to go I'm going to go back to his ability to make the right decision with the ball. A person that has the ball that amount of time throughout the game, it's important that he makes good decisions with the ball.
And Kelly, over the last handful of games now, going back 11 or 12 games, his assist to turnover really, really fine, almost 9 and just a tick under 3.
Well, as busy as these guys are on the court, they are also extremely busy in carrying things on outside of the arena. Of course, their involvement this past week, it was DJ White and Nick Collison. They took part in a special reading timeout that honored the life of Martin Luther King. The players visited Stanley Hupfield Academy in Oklahoma City and shared the book, Martin's Big Words.
You guys learned to read at school? Do you like reading?
Me and Nick came out and today and read a book about
Martin Luther King and some of his life. It's important to come out and read to the kids and, kind of explain to them what the day is about. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee. He went to help garbage collectors who were on strike.
Yeah, NBA has done a really good job with the Read to Achieve program. They've done it for a long time.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. cared about all Americans.
And as an ex-high school teacher myself, I know how important it was for kids that got to high school level to be able to read. The ones that could read were achievers. The ones that didn't do so well. We're just thrilled to be a part of the Thunder organization and contribute where we can.
The importance of it really didn't hit you until you were a teenager. You understand the things that he went through, his family went through. For me to be where I am today, to do the things that I do.
The world is a much better place, a much more fair place because of the work he did, the sacrifices he made. It's hard for us to imagine what he went through, what the people of that era went through for the civil rights movement. And we're fortunate to be able to live in a much more progressive world, a better world, and there's still work to be done. But we're all very thankful for the work he did.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
How one player's mom used her passion for art to influence his play on the court.
To me, as an artist, the end result is never the most important part. It's really how you put yourself into it altogether and even lose yourself into it.
Welcome back to Thunder Insider.
Well, like most of the guys on the Thunder team, Thabo Sefolosha will attribute his work ethic, his character, and his personal values to his family and his upbringing. After meeting his mom, you'll understand why that makes perfect sense.
And then I could scintillate onto the Reeve or any of these papers.
You can see the passion.
But this one, I don't know at all how it would react.
Hear her enthusiasm.
And then go back to it by just folding it over again.
And while some of you may not recognize her, you've certainly seen that same passion in her son.
And Sefolosha with a clean steal. Sefolosha tomahawks it home.
Thabo Sefolosha.
Growing up in a house where my mom was a painter and my dad's a musician, I think he influenced me a lot to being really diverse in what I like. And also growing up in an environment where my family and my parents, taught me to just follow what I like to do, what I really, have a passion for, and that was basketball for me.
The hands of Sefolosha, who just has a layup.
I could see he was so intense, so it was a necessity for him to play basketball. I could see he was very serious about it, and that I felt, although I'm far away from a sports person, I felt it has to be encouraged.
That pass intercepted by Sefolosha.
What was it like to see Thabo play on that stage?
Oh, well, it just was so intense. Intense is the word I would say. It's a great intensity, and you can see people are happy to see these players, and that's wonderful. You see that their role is really to make all this crowd happy. And that's very good.
Watching Thabo play was just one of the highlights to Christine's Oklahoma City trip. The talented artist also teamed up with an art studio downtown to host a workshop.
Well, I did it in one shot. I really love doing this, and it's fantastic to be able to show that to people here, but also get a lot back from them because they have their ways and I have my Swiss way. And so we interact, and it's a very interesting process.
All artists like to see what someone else is doing outside of the space to learn more techniques, more about materials and stuff like that.
Like this I brought from Switzerland. It's a rice paper. It's very fine, so it picks up differently than the Reeve embossed paper.
Whether art,
Sefolosha with great reaction,
or basketball, it's the spirit and heart the Sefoloshas put into their work that sets them apart.
To me, as an artist, the end result is never the most important part. It's really how you put yourself into it altogether and even lose yourself into it.
I had so much fun doing that story, and I have to thank Christine Cephalosha for taking the time to talk to us. It was just so interesting to hear about Thabo as a young boy and just what influenced him. And I know you've talked to Thabo a little bit about, his childhood as well and having two parents who are artists.
Yeah, I did. I wrote it in a magazine story last year, and he grew up in a very eclectic household with, obviously, his mother, the painter. His father was a world-famous a jazz musician based out of South Africa. So he said there were a lot of different artists coming in and out of his house as a kid, and he said it wasn't your typical upbringing, but it was fun.
He mentions he always has his iPod, and music is a big deal to him. But recently, you hear his mom speak of the intensity he has when he's on the court. That's certainly carried over into his rebounding skills as of late. He's really been hitting the boards hard.
Yeah, he has. I think he did tie a season career high with 13 rebounds in that win over Houston a few weeks ago. But one thing that's overlooked is that him and Russell are two of the best rebounding guards in the league. I mean, obviously Scott Brooks always talks about it being a team effort rebounding-wise, and we do see that not from just Russell, but also Thabo.
Thabo finding another niche, another way to make an impact on the court. Very, very good for him. Well, the Devon Community Hero Award, presented by the Thunder, rewards the contributions of Oklahomans to their community. This month, Officer Katie Lawson of the Oklahoma City Police Department is being honored for her heroism under fire.
Katie Lawson doesn't feel comfortable being called a hero, but Oklahoma City Police Chief Bill City says there's no other way to describe this 27-year-old officer.
Katie is a hero's hero.
Late on an August night last year, Officer Lawson responded to assist a county deputy on a DUI stop, which occurred outside the suspect's home in northwest Oklahoma City. It seemed routine until Lawson spotted the barrel of a high-powered AR-15 semi-automatic rifle aimed at her just 60 feet away. With only her .45 caliber pistol, she was severely outgunned as the shooter moved even closer and opened fire, sending 26 rounds towards her patrol car, striking her 6 times. Wounded and bloody, Lawson was still able to return fire and forced the gunman to retreat and cease fire. Lawson attempted to chase the suspect, but was unable to do so because of her injuries. She was, however, able to calmly get onto her radio to provide a description and possible location of the suspect to fellow officers.
102 dispatch, could you hear me? Could I get out? I've been shot. I contribute my survival to, number one, the Lord. I believe He brought me out of that moment alive, and then also my training. It kicked in even when I didn't think about it.
Her ability to think and act quickly, along with her strength, faith, and training, helped Officer Lawson to survive the attack. She continues to recover and looks forward to returning to full duty as soon as possible.
And Thunder fans, right now in center court, January, Devon Energy Community Hero, Oklahoma City Police Officer Katie Lawson.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
And you always want to know that your fitness and your health is always the number one issue, and you always got to make sure you take care of that. And that's what we're trying to teach these kids today.
Welcome back. For the second straight week, a member of the 66ers squad has been called up to the association. Forward Larry Owens will get his first taste of the NBA as his development in Tulsa earned him a 10-day contract with the San Antonio Spurs. Owens shot over 46% in his 23 games with the 66ers. Tulsa's involvement in the community, of course, mirrors that of the Thunder, and recently Robert Vaden and Brandon Brooks worked with 60 elementary students involved in an after-school program at Skelly Elementary. It was part of the 66ers Fit Clinic, designed to encourage kids to live an active and healthy lifestyle.
All right, before you play basketball, you always want to stretch so you don't tear a muscle or just hurt yourself. So we're out here with this little elementary, trying to teach them the NBA fit, how to stretch, a couple of drills just to help them out a little bit. We're going to shoot layups. You know how to shoot a layup? Always fun just to see young, fresh faces. They're having a lot of fun, trying to make sure that they know how to participate well in group activities and stay fit. 1, 2, 3. You got to put it behind your elbow, though. There you go. I mean, when you're little, of course, you can just run around and just do whatever you want at all times. But, when you get older, you learn that you need to stretch. 10, 66ers. You need to eat the proper meals, things like that. So it's good to learn early, of course. 1, 2, 3. Oh, shoot it. Oh, yeah. I think it's very important because, I mean, you never know in life what you may be when you grow up. And, you know, you always want to know that your fitness and your health is always the #1 issue. And you always got to make sure you take care of that. And that's what we're trying to teach these kids today. 1, 2, 3, team. Yeah.
Strength and conditioning, always an important thing. Those guys having a lot of fun with it. We now head to some Thunder talk here. Joining us now, the voice of Thunder Radio, Matt Pinto, Grant Long, guys. We've seen some things starting to work for this team. And one thing, Grant, I've heard you mention that the screen and roll, although simple, can be so effective if they do it right. And this is happening now for this team.
Absolutely, and I think the critical part of a screen and roll is decision making. You have to, with so many different coverages or ways to cover it, you have to make a quick decision when you see either a trap or a show or a hard hedge. And Russell Westbrook, in my estimation, is growing in that aspect that he makes a quick decision. When he sees that screen, if it's open, he'll come off and take the jump shot. Now you have to work in conjunction also with the screener who's going to roll or either pop. In the case of Nenad Kristic, most of the time he's going to pop. Serge Ibaka's going to roll to the basket. But you have to make that quick determination whether that's open or not, and I think those two guys and that combination has been working very good.
And there are so many variations that a point guard can go to off the screen and roll. It gives him options. It provides real stress for the defense to defend it effectively. And with Russell's quickness, and as Grant mentioned, his decision-making elevating seemingly game to game, suddenly that becomes an enormous part of what this Thunder offense is doing.
And one of the guys who sets some of the best picks there is Nick Collison coming off the bench. The bench play in general, fantastic as we go through these last few games.
And it's going to need to be, Kelly, really the remainder of the season because, Grant, there's so much wear and tear on the starters, and when Kevin Durant and Jeff Green are among league leaders in minutes played, the bench certain nights is going to need to, like Nick here, going just scrapping for loose balls and returning on a follow. Going to need to come through and play extended minutes so that some of the starters can rest over the long course of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to take that even a step further because as you get into the playoffs, obviously the starting five, everybody has an opportunity to scout these guys, but the unpredictable people are the reserves. So when the reserves come off and they're able to make an impact on the game, it's huge, especially in a playoff situation.
And each of them seem to understand their roles. Again, Scott Brooks has done a great job of defining roles. Each of those guys comes off the bench, recognizes, understands what they're being asked to do, and they're delivering.
Yeah, I think that the minutes, you're starting to see that it doesn't really matter who is on the floor, but rather in the end, the minutes they're getting to play and how effective they're going to be.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
Look at this. It's Tyler, the man who fired me from the dunk team. How you doing? Good. Really good to see you. It's been a tough go since then. I'll be taking this since you fired me. Looks pretty good. Thank you.
Welcome back, Thunder fans. Be sure to customize your Thunder experience with a Pick 6 ticket package. You can select any 6 upcoming home games, and tickets are available on the club level as well as Loud City. Loud City tickets start at just $10. Go to thunder.nba.com or call 405-208-HOOP to purchase your ticket package. And don't forget to take part in our Watch and Win contest for a chance to win a trip to Orlando or get tickets to an upcoming home game. Go to thunder.nba.com and enter the code 5864 or text the code to 68278 for your chance to win. Well, even when the Thunder are on the road, Oklahoma City fans are, of course, still cheering on and supporting their team. This week, Steely joined a rowdy bunch at the Fox and the Hound in North Oklahoma City for a watch party. And as always, Steely became the life of the party.
It's time to watch some Thunder hoops at the Fox and Hound. Who's ready? Who's ready?
Sir, I'm sorry. Can I see your ID, please?
Really? Are you sure? Look at that.
Wow, I'm sorry. I didn't think you were that old.
Ah, look at this. It's Tyler, the man who fired me from the dunk team. How you doing? Good. Really good to see you. It's been a tough go since then. I'll be taking this since you fired me. Looks pretty good. Thank you. What do you like best about the watch party?
Everything.
Look at this. This is unbelievable. My man, you realize the man whose jersey you're wearing doesn't even want to be in Denver anymore.
Yeah, he'll be gone. He'll be gone next year.
Ready for Rumble?
Yes.
What's the best thing about these watch parties? I got to ask you, me or the Thunder Girls?
The Thunder Girls.
So, and my appearance has been special too, right? She just lied. What is the best thing about this atmosphere for a watch party? Me or the Thunder Girls? Her. Okay, Jessica, we're going to settle this once and for all. You ready? All right, my man. What is the most exciting thing about the atmosphere here at the watch party?
Getting to see the Thunder play. That's the best thing about anything with basketball season.
It's just a lot of fun. Everyone's here and everyone's cheering, and it's great watching the game on the big screens. I like the drummers. That's great.
Be truthful. Me or the Thunder Girls?
Thunder Girls.
Let me ask you the question one more time. Is it me, the man with your money, or the Thunder Girls?
Thunder Girls.
Steely, one mascot's enough. Rumble's here. Let's go. Let's go.
For Steely, all the votes for the Thunder Girls. Well, thanks again for joining us here at our Oklahoman studio for Thunder Insider, presented by Integris Health. We'll see you again next week with more on Thunder Basketball.